Cambridge, Ontario is home to dozens of neighborhoods, each with its own price points, pros and cons, and unique vibe. What makes a great neighborhood for someone might not make the best neighborhood for you. Some areas are thriving with charm and amenities, and other ones, well, they'll make you want to think twice. After working as a realtor in the Waterloo region for over half a decade, I've gained valuable insights that I'd like to share with you today, helping countless families move here to Cambridge, Ontario. In this video, I'll be ranking Cambridge's neighborhoods from the worst neighborhoods to the best neighborhoods. And I've segmented the neighborhoods into tiers, starting with tier D all the way up to tier A. Let's get started with tier D here. There's 3 neighborhoods that make up this tier. We'll look at the first one here. That's going to be Preston Heights. Preston Heights is built primarily in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And in this neighborhood, you're looking at homes that are townhouses, smaller detached homes, and apartments. There is a little bit higher crime rate in this area. That's why it's been placed in the tier D. It is one of the highest crime areas within Cambridge, Ontario. But one of the benefits of living in Preston Heights is the fact that you are very close to Highway 401. So if you are looking to commute to Toronto, then this area might be on your radar. Now, Preston South is going to be very similar to Preston Heights, but we're looking at homes that are a bit older in age. We're looking at homes anywhere between the 1920s all the way up to the 1960s. And one area that kind of makes up Preston South is definitely worse than the other ones is going to be Southeastern. And I'll highlight it here on the map as an overlay of kind of exactly where the worst area of Preston South is and where you typically want to avoid if you're not a fan of higher crime rates. Now, rounding off the tier D, we're looking at Allison Park. Now, Allison is going to be located on the southeastern side of Cambridge, Ontario. You're further from Highway 401, and these homes in this neighborhood are built primarily within the 1960s and 70s. We're looking at bungalows, side splits, and back splits. The area has been getting better throughout the years, but again, it is in the tier D because of those higher crime rates. Now, tier C we're moving into right now, and these neighborhoods within this tier, I would have no problem recommending any of these neighborhoods. We'll look at the first neighborhood here. That's going to be Elgin Park and Coronation. Now, that's going to be very close to downtown Galt. So this neighborhood features older homes, often built in the mid 20th century with higher renter densities and somewhat more affordable than a lot of neighborhoods within Cambridge. And on the whole, the crime rates are very moderate. Glenview Lincoln. This neighborhood is located in the eastern part of Cambridge, known for its affordability. Housing here includes small detached homes and older townhomes, but proximity to industrial areas really takes away from its overall appeal. Now, Preston North is a lot better than Preston South in my opinion, especially when you're north of the train tracks. I'll highlight it here on the map for you exactly kind of where that area is, and it's quite a nice community. You're gonna have lower crime rates than you are in Preston Heights or Preston South. And in terms of the housing options in this community, we're looking at homes primarily built in the 50s and 60s, smaller detached homes that are bungalows, back splits, and side splits for the most part. Now, downtown Galt, for some people, this might be one of the best neighborhoods here within the city of Cambridge. Others, well, it might be the worst. It should be a tier D. I've placed it in the tier C category. The reason being is you do have a lot of great amenities in this neighborhood. Of course, you're gonna have all the boutique shops. You're gonna have a multitude of restaurants. It's beautiful with the beautiful limestone buildings throughout the city. That old city charm is definitely present in downtown Galt. Now, the drawback though is it does have highest crime rates in the city of Cambridge, but then again, Cambridge is a very safe city overall. Now, Salisbury. Salisbury is going to be located on the western side of Galt, Ontario, the southwest of Cambridge. And the reason that it's not higher up on this list is it's quite far from a lot of the amenities. It's quite far from the Highway 401. There are grocery stores within the area further east, but then again, you are really on the western tip. In this neighborhood, you're gonna find newer homes primarily built between 2010 to 2020, and we're looking at detached homes in that neighborhood, anywhere from 1,800 square feet and up in terms of above grade square footage. Rounding out this list, we have Lang's Farm. It's a very close-knit community located near the industrial area. And that's one thing to really highlight about this area. It's very close to Highway 24, where you're gonna have a ton of shopping options in that area. You're gonna have Cambridge Mall. It's very close to there. But the neighborhood itself, when I was on tour showing properties to clients, I did have some time after the property tours were done. I was looking for somewhere to eat, and there was nothing within the actual neighborhood itself to eat. So I had to go to Highway 24. So once you're out of the neighborhood, definitely a lot of options. And in this neighborhood, we're looking at homes primarily built, again, 80s and 90s builds. Now, Northview, stable, family-friendly community with a mix of detached homes and townhomes built in the 80s and 90s. It has a very low crime rate and it's a reliable choice for families. Now, Branchton Park is located on the southern edge of Cambridge, Ontario, and these are primarily going to be detached homes on the larger side, I would say, anywhere from 1,800 square feet and up. The benefit of being in this area is you're close to the countryside. If that's something you do like, just to be outside of the hustle and bustle, you're right there, you're right in the country. There's relatively low crime rates, but then again, if you are looking in this area and commuting to the Greater Toronto area or commuting west to London, it's gonna be quite tough because of course you are on the southernmost end of Cambridge. Moving on to the next neighborhood here, this is gonna be Moffat Creek. And last year I had a client purchase in this area a pre-construction townhouse built by Ridgeview Homes. Ridgeview Homes is an excellent builder. So if you are looking for new construction in Cambridge, Ontario, there's definitely a lot of great options within this neighborhood. And Moffat Creek, half of it I would say is developed 90s and 2000s, and this other half that's being built right now will be quite large in scale. This is going to be brand new homes for the most part. Now, East Hespeler, I recently had clients purchase in this area a nice, beautiful detached home, and they're coming from the GTA, so this might be a great option for you if you do have to commute to the Greater Toronto area, as it is the furthest eastern part of Cambridge, Ontario. It has easy access to Highway 401. It's a complete breeze. And let's say if you are comparing the southern end of Guelph, which a lot of clients do compare Guelph, Ontario and Cambridge in terms of the driving distance, it's actually faster to be in East Hespeler than on the southern end of Guelph. So that's something to note. And at the same time, you're going to be paying less being in East Hespeler as opposed to the southern end of Guelph. If you're looking to make a move here to the Waterloo region, like many of my clients have, then you can book a call with me in the first link in the description, or call, text, or email. Southwood and St. Andrews, that's going to be on the southwestern tip of the city of Cambridge, located kind of near downtown Galt. You could certainly walk there if you'd like. Probably take a 15, 20, 30 minutes walk, a 5-minute drive. So you are close to the downtown, all of the amenities that are there, and it's absolutely beautiful. We're looking at homes primarily built kind of like 50s, 60s, and 70s. It's family friendly and relatively low crime rates. Shades Mill, where I used to take field trips to when I was a young lad back in the day. It's an absolutely beautiful neighborhood. So there's Shades Mill, the neighborhood that surrounds Shades Mill Conservation Area and lake. And if you are an outdoorsy person, then this is a great option for you. Homes in this area were primarily built 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, and we're looking at primarily detached homes. Now let's take a look at Hespeler Village. So Hespeler Village includes the downtown Hespeler core, which is again very beautiful, very nice. You do have the Grand River, absolutely gorgeous little area, all the way up to the southern end, which is right up to the Highway 401. So you have a lot of variety in this area, a lot of parks. You have things built, I would say, in the 30s and 40s, closer to the downtown core. And as you branch out closer to the southern side, you're looking at homes built 70s, 80s, and 90s. So there's a house there pretty much for everyone. And we're looking at detached bungalows, side splits, back splits, and 2 stories for the most part. Now, Maple Grove. This is an interesting neighborhood. There's basically 2 different neighborhoods in one. There's the eastern side, which is a bit older, but it is absolutely gorgeous. We're talking executive luxury homes on, half-acre to 2-acre lots. Absolutely gorgeous, easy access to Highway 401. And then on the western side, it is more affordable and it's brand new or nearly new. They're building there in that community right now. And we're looking at homes that are townhouses, detached, and stacked townhomes. So there's definitely great options in this area if you are looking for newer construction. Definitely Maple Grove is an excellent choice and something to look at. Clemens Mills is very close to Shades Mills, very similar, and it's part of the greater Fiddlesticks area, which is located kind of on the eastern side of Cambridge, Ontario. You're relatively close to Highway 401 when it comes to commuting, and this neighborhood is quite nice. We're talking, for the most part, double car detached homes, primarily built in the 80s and 90s. We're looking at homes that are, around 1,800 square feet or larger, 1,800 to maybe 2,700 square feet. Relatively low crime rates, a lot of great parks. Rounding out the tier B is going to be Beaverdale. Beaverdale is located on the outskirts of Cambridge, Ontario, and has a very rural feel. Lots of larger lots, but of course the housing stock is going to be less as it is very rural in nature. Now, tier A, these are the best neighborhoods within Cambridge, Ontario, in my personal opinion. Please, comment down below if you disagree with me. It's very difficult to actually place every neighborhood in a certain tier. Maybe you could argue that West Galt, for example, should be in tier B and another one should be in tier A. Now, West Galt is in my tier A category, and that is west of the Grand River. You have the benefit of being close to downtown Galt with all the beautiful shops, restaurants. They're all right there. You can walk there. You have the benefit of being along the Grand River. It's an absolutely gorgeous neighborhood. I'll pull up some video right here so you can see. And you're looking at homes anywhere from the 20s all the way up to brand new, but we're primarily looking at 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. And this, there's certain areas here, it looks like a Hallmark film. Like, it's absolutely gorgeous. Now, just north of there is a neighborhood called Blair Road. I've highlighted this in numerous videos. It's one of my favorite neighborhoods here within the city of Cambridge. Homes primarily built 60s, 70s, and 80s. We have a multitude of different options. There's back splits, side splits, 2 stories, bungalows, raised bungalows. So there's something here for everyone. And these lots in this neighborhood are fairly large. You are relatively close to downtown Galt, so for all of your shopping necessities, and you're close to Highway 401 as well. So commuting is definitely an option if you do live in this neighborhood. Finally, the most interesting area, and I think the most luxurious area, is Blair, Ontario. It's quite separated from the rest of Cambridge, Ontario. It almost functions on its own. You're very close to Highway 401. You have a ton of luxurious options within this neighborhood and has a very rural feel. Now, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you might like this video coming up next.